So in videos I've often called myself Top Shelf TK Stark, because I am. I've talked about how parties at the Casa de Beto are a lot of fun, because they are. I've talked about how these big, thick, sexy legs can pick up any man and drop him violently back on the mat, because they can. Everything I've ever said has been serious. I've meant everything I've ever said. But tonight's meal has a different tone to it. Because with each noodle that I twirl around this fork, with each piece of rice that I flick across this tray, I come to terms with the fact that this Saturday, PWGP Scars and Stripes, is probably the most important match of my life. As I sit here in a room in South Carolina eating mall food court Japanese food, I think about the Pacific Ocean and what's across from the Pacific Ocean, which is Japan. Real Japan, with real Japanese food. And in my world, there's a wall across the Pacific Ocean. You might think it's kind of ridiculous to say that there's a wall on top of an ocean. But the wall I'm referring to is a 5'7", 200-pound force of nature known as Craig Classic. See, Craig Classic has been where I want to be. Craig Classic has spent the majority of his 11 years in Japan. You can follow that story on Wikipedia. You can follow that story on Cage Match. Since I was 3 years old, when I watched Power Rangers, I've wanted to go to Japan. And here I am in South Carolina, about to take the trek to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, to go one-on-one in a 2 out of 3 falls match with Craig Classic, a man who is fully capable of kicking my head in, a man who could probably kill me with his bare hands. There's a wall across the ocean, but it's not a wall that I can't jump over. And Scars and Stripes can either be a launching pad to send me across that wall, or who knows, maybe I'll just punch a hole in the wall and let it sink to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Craig Classic, I hope you're prepared, because I'm prepared. Anybody who watches this, I'll see you in Lauderdale. Scars and Stripes.